Good day, everyone. It's Mr. Typhoon Padua, back to our latest weather analysis for this weekend of May 16 to 18, 2026, Saturday through Monday. English version brought to you by Typhoon 2000 and Naga College Foundation. And we'd like to thank our partners, Aboitiz Power, and the local government of Naga City, headed by our Honorable Mayor Lenny Revedo and our Honorable Vice Mayor Gabi Bordado. Now let's begin with our update. We have the latest right now since the death of Tropical Depression Caloy or Hagupit last Monday and Tuesday. The remnants of this system, the decaying remnants, has been moving very slowly over the Philippine Sea and it's now moving towards the north. But right now it's quasi-stationary to the east of extreme northern Luzon. And as we speak right now, it's currently absorbing the frontal system is absorbing the remnants of this tropical depression. So it's no longer there, it's just a low pressure system. And we have here a major front. This is a seasonal frontal system, which is affecting Japan, southern China, and Taiwan. Right now, it's quite low. It's currently over extreme northern Luzon with some mostly cloudy conditions with afternoon or evening rain showers and thunderstorms. And all across the country, we are experiencing a mix of rain, clouds, and good clearless skies. As you can see, this was the image in the morning. There are already some thunderstorms affecting Luzon, northern and central Luzon, southern Tagalog provinces, Metro Manila, except for Bicol region, which is currently is not experiencing any rainfall. But for the next few days to next week, we are expecting the arrival of afternoon or evening rain showers and thunderstorms. Visayas is also having some nice weather, but there are isolated showers and thunderstorms. And it will be more frequent of rain showers and thunderstorms over Mindanao. Okay, these are localized thunderstorms. So it's devoid of any wind over these areas, very light, calm conditions all across the country except for extreme northern Luzon because of the frontal system. They are experiencing some 20 to 50 kph of easterly winds associated with the frontal system. And over the West Philippine Sea near the coastal waters of Vietnam, we are now experiencing some onset of southerly wind flow. Not yet the Southwest Monsoon, but in the next couple of weeks, we expect the Southwest Monsoon to officially arrive over the West Philippine Sea based on the computer models. And so far, outside of the Philippine Area Responsibility, we are not seeing any development. There are some cloudiness brought about by the wind conversions and a tropical wave here over the Marshall Islands. So far, it's still okay when it comes to tropical cyclone formation, not yet present. But during the last days of May, there might be a system forming either over the Philippine Sea or over the West Philippine Sea. I'm going to show to you the latest from the European model on that possible system. Although the forecast is more than 7 days, up to 14 days, the uncertainty remains high. Okay, and here's the latest fast animation from the University of Wisconsin Tropical Cyclone page. And this is the last 10-hour loop until 7 p.m. this evening. And you can observe here the development of localized thunderstorms across northern and central Luzon, including Metro Manila, parts of southern Tagalog provinces, and also across parts of Mindanao. And if we take a look at the zoom in satellite animation, this is from Windy. And this is the loop beginning at 3:30 in the afternoon until 9 o'clock this evening. And you can observe easily on your areas, wherever you live, that there are some with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Some are having some good weather. just like here over Bicol region, and parts of the actually the whole of the Visayas are experiencing some good weather except for western Negros, southwestern Panay. There are some thunderstorms, isolated ones, and these thunderstorms are severe, particularly over northern Central Luzon, parts of Metro Manila, and also over areas of Mindanao. Okay, and then here's the remnants of tropical depression Caloy or Hagupit, which is now absorbed into the frontal system. Now let's take a look at the latest forecast from the European model for the next 5 days so far, for the next week ahead, for the next week. Okay, we are experiencing some light northeasterly winds over eastern Luzon. By Monday, Tuesday, it will become calm to variable winds all throughout the archipelago. And on Wednesday, May 20th, we have another surge here of the easterly wind flow affecting eastern Visayas and the Bicol region. May 21st, same easterlies and extending across Visayas, Mimaropa, and the eastern sections of Mindanao as well. Okay, so that's the forecast for the next 5 days. If we move it into up to 14 days, we're going to show you here what I am talking about. Okay, the possibility of a low pressure system forming over the likely here over the Philippine Sea north of Palau on May 29th, and another one here near the coastal waters of eastern Vietnam. And as you can see, during the day 13 and day 14 forecast of the European model, we have here a strong low pressure system could become a tropical depression near the coastal waters of Vietnam. And likely it will affect the Spratly Islands, including the Calayan Island group, as it is expected to enhance the Southwest Monsoon. So during the last day of May, there might be already the onset of the Southwest Monsoon enhanced by a low pressure system near Vietnam over the West Philippine Sea. And we have another one here over to the east of Surigao or east of Samar, a possibility of a developing low pressure system. And we will clearly going to observe this, okay, as we move into the second week that will be during the last few days of May. So it's still uncertain. We will observe this for possibility of that formation. So far, for the next 7 days, still quiet with some easterlies as well as localized thunderstorms across the country. Here's the rainfall accumulation, the day-to-day rainfall forecast from the ECMWF. And as you can see, tomorrow afternoon, we could see another round of afternoon rain showers and thunderstorms across Luzon, Metro Manila. There might be some over the Bicol region and becoming more intense over Mindanao, particularly Soxgen, Lanao provinces, Bukidnon, parts of Davao, and parts of Zamboanga Peninsula. Visayas, not much. Monday afternoon, the possibility of thunderstorms are now extending across Mindoro, central and western Visayas, Negros Island region, Bicol region. So there might be a thunderstorm on Monday. And again, Mindanao is still the usual afternoon or evening rain showers and thunderstorms. These are severe thunderstorms on a daily basis. Okay? And on Tuesday, May 19th, there might be another round of thunderstorms across the country except for Palawan. So expect to have another downpour, so bring your umbrellas and rain gear. Wednesday, same situation. Thursday, again, another round of possible isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Although Bicol region has lessened to about 50% probability of a afternoon or evening rain showers and thunderstorms. Friday, on May 22nd, again, thunderstorms will be expected across Mindanao, Visayas, the rest of Luzon. So don't forget to bring your rain gear and umbrellas. Now let's move over to Google DeepMind. So far, the latest on the Google DeepMind AI Model 1, it's still nothing. Although during the third and last week of May, there are already some increasing points. Okay, these are the ensemble of the Google DeepMind, but it's much scattered. Okay, so there's no convergence of these points of the model, so the uncertainty remains high. And look at that, it's the forecast points of the Google DeepMind on May 29th is extending from the Guam area across the Philippines and into the West Philippine Sea. It's very wide, so this probability is so low and highly uncertain. So we still don't know, because if the probability increases, most of these circles will remain into one area, not scattered enough. Okay, that will make the probability very low if this is more on a scattered fashion. Okay, now let's take a look at the next of this forecast. What else here? So let's move now to the latest on the wave heights. Those who are watching, fishermen who are watching, expect good wave heights all across the Philippine Sea and the central waters of our country. Generally, it will be calm to up to a meter in wave heights today until next Friday. So there's nothing to worry about. Look at here. Okay, it's 0.2, 0.4 central and West Philippine Sea. So there's nothing to worry about. Now, for the latest on the El Nino, we have in the latest El Nino watch issued 2 days ago, May 14. And based on the latest synopsis from the Climate Prediction Center of the National Weather Service of NOAA, it says here that El Nino is likely to emerge soon with 82% chance in May to July 2026, meaning there's a probability of a formation of El Nino likely to develop between May to July. It's quite early, and they are saying that this could become one of those rare El Ninos, which is a very strong El Nino. It's now known as Super El Nino. So we are still monitoring it, since the forecast up to October, November, December is 6 to 8 months from now. We still don't know. It will be somewhere between a strong or a very strong El Nino. So the effects will be similar to what happened in 1982-83, 1997-98, and 2015-16, but there are different changes when it comes to extreme weather. So we shall see, okay? As of this time, we are observing. No need to be alarmed, because the uncertainty is still high, as it is mentioned here on the latest El Nino watch. Okay, so if this happens, the effects of El Nino will continue to December to February 2027 with 96% probability. Okay, so right now, just relax and prepare for what will happen during an El Nino, a very strong El Nino. You can learn these lessons from the past 3 super El Ninos. Okay, So the probability, the chances of the effects during the past super El Niños may happen during this time. Okay, if this next very strong or super El Nino happens, and there are lots of social media postings about this super El Nino. It could be deadlier, etc., blah blah blah. But take note, this is still a forecast, and we still don't know until October to February. Okay, so we are going to watch this and observe for any extreme weather that this El Nino climate will generate. The most important thing, we are resilient and we are ready for any extreme weather that this potential super or very strong El Nino will create. Okay. Now I'm gonna show you the latest figure. So this is the latest probability. It's still quite high based on the forecast. Right now we are still during April, May, June, or during May 2026. We are 84% neutral. The El Nino is still at 15 or 16%. But come June, okay, May, June, July, we are going to get the midpoint. So by June, El Nino will develop, and it will start to come. The El Nino will start at 82%, then July up to 93, and August up to 95%. So these 3 months is the beginning of the early effects of El Nino, and the peak, as you can see here, is likely between September, October, November, and December, with a high of more than 95%, 97, 96%, and then by January it will slightly go down to 96%. Still quite high, but this is the forecast, so we might observe this closely. We will observe this closely and take note of the probabilities. Okay, so it doesn't show here if what level this kind of El Nino will be. And if you look at the next slide here, this is a new product from the NOAA and the Climate Prediction Center of the strength probabilities of the upcoming El Nino issued this May 2026. So if you look here, okay, so the maroon color is the very strong El Nino, and take a look at this. It says here by November and December of 2026, this forecasted El Nino will be somewhere likely will be somewhere between a strong El Nino or a very strong or super El Nino. So it's still up in the air, although we have here a moderate El Nino, but it's quite 20% probability. So it says here that the next El Nino is somewhere between a strong to very strong, or what the social media now says, super El Nino. So let's wait and see. Okay, we are not yet going to officially call this a very strong or a super El Nino, because the probability between October, November, December, January, and December, January, February next year says a close probability between a strong El Nino and a very strong El Nino. Okay, so we will keep you updated every month for the latest of these strength probabilities when it comes to the next El Nino. Now for the effects of the El Nino and its rainfall. as I've said during my previous videos, that Indonesia, Australia, Malaysia, okay, India, into China, that includes Vietnam, Thailand, will be below average rainfall between July to April, as well as the Philippines. So expect below average rainfall. This is not about temperature. The El Nino and La Nina is more about the amount of rainfall. And here in the Philippines, if we have El Nino, we expect lack of rainfall during this kind of event. So it's gonna be below average. Okay, but there's still rain, but it will be below the norm. Okay, so we will keep you updated. While over the US, California, Texas, Florida, Mexico, okay, northern Mexico, that will be having a above average rainfall. Okay, so we'll keep you informed on the monthly effects of this upcoming El Nino. Now, for the rainfall probability forecast, this is the latest one for the month of May. As you can see, this is for June, July, and August. The Philippines is a mixture of below average rainfall. That will be over Mindanao. You can see here, around 40 to 50% below normal, while Visayas is still normal conditions. In Palawan will also have 40% below normal, and the rest of Luzon is above 40% normal because of the onset of the Southwest Monsoon. So there is still the effects of the Southwest Monsoon that will alleviate the effects of the upcoming development of this El Nino. And by July, August, September, below average of 40 to 45% persist over Mindanao, 40% over Visayas, above normal conditions over Luzon. So this is mainly due to the still the effects of the Southwest Monsoon. That's why the drought conditions is not yet existing over Luzon and the Visayas. But take a look during the month of August, September, October, at the time of the end of Habagat, at the end of the Southwest Monsoon, transitioning towards the Northeast Monsoon. Take a look. It looks like the rest of the country is now moving to below average rainfall. Mindanao is up to 50% below average rainfall. Visayas, Palawan is still 40% below average. The rest of Luzon is now on the below normal rainfall of 40 to 45% probability. And take a look at the September, October, November forecast of the precipitation. Wow, look at that. It says here it's gonna be 50 to 60% below normal. So if we have a monthly average of, an example, 200 millimeters, let's say for Central Luzon, for the month of October, that will have an effect, because if this happens, the rainfall might be 100 millimeters or below. So we will wait and see. Even Guam and parts of the Western Pacific will be affected by this potential very strong or super El Nino if it happens. But again, it's fighting between strong to very strong El Nino. Okay, so when it comes to tropical cyclone formation, most of them will form between Guam up to the international dateline. The formation of tropical cyclones will be somewhere here. That will be the midpoint, the main area of formation. We call it as a tropical cyclone genesis. So this will be the area of tropical cyclone formation. So we will keep you updated on that one. on the next few days. When we return, we are going to give you another update, this time on the forecast of tropical cyclone formation over the Western Pacific this 2026. So that ends our update for this weekend. We'll see you again next week. This is Mike, Mr. Typhoon Padua. Stay safe always. Be #weatherwiser. And thank you so much for watching our channel. God bless to all.